A woman is forced into the bridal chamber. The groom unexpectedly attacks her with an egg. However, the real groom returns triumphantly with his troops. He learns that the Empress Dowager found a fool to cure Prince Jing. He orders the fool to be sent back where she came from. He thinks everything is settled. Suddenly, the Zheng Manor announces that Princess Jing is not only dead, but also suffered posthumous humiliation. Meanwhile, the Dali Kingdom's god of war, Zhaojian Qingqing, nicknamed Mr. / Ms. Congeniality, is... This section seems to have garbled text. Yuan Shang Chao Yuan Su. Feng Su Nuan is just transmigrated and is about to be married. She thought her husband, Prince Jing, would have a 12-pack, but upon lifting the covers of the Prince Jing's bed, Prince Jing turns out to be a rooster. Feng Su Nuan is so scared she backs away repeatedly. I'm warning you, I don't do bestiality. At the same time, at the manor's entrance, the triumphant Prince Jing has a grim expression. Agio. Didn't I tell you to break off the engagement? This was all arranged by the Empress Dowager to cure you, Your Highness. I didn't dare disobey. I don't need a princess consort who can't lift a finger and is only good for curing me. But Your Highness, your health did improve after the cure, didn't it? Feng Sunwan peeks out her head as, oh, he's Prince Jing. He's quite handsome. She happily rushes towards her father. But in Prince Jing's eyes, she's just a weak, foolish, and dirty woman. Get this woman out of here. Send her back where she came from. Feng Sunwan's heart breaks instantly. Overly dramatic, she clutches her chest and staggers backward. You treat me with indifference today, I'll make you regret it tomorrow. Just you wait, you scumbag, for your groveling chase. And so, Feng Sunwan is sent back to the Zheng Manor. Madame Zheng immediately slaps her. Feng Sunwan slaps her right back. Whoever's the fool is right. This line and the following appear to be nonsensical children's rhymes. You clap one, I clap one, as Sao gets on a plane. Duke Zheng can't stand it anymore. He quickly has this embarrassing thing taken away. Feng Sunwan, this embarrassing thing, doesn't mind not having to walk. She and the rooster groom are locked away in a remote part of the manor. The two different species stare at each other. I didn't expect you to be so loyal to me. I won't consider you emergency rations anymore. The rooster promptly pecks her 5 times in a flash, putting her in her place. Locked away, they don't even have anyone bringing them food. Feng Sunwan can only rely on herself. The luxurious meal before her leads to her and the rooster gorging themselves. But halfway through the meal, she suddenly notices someone sticking their tongue out. Just then, the rooster swallows a chili pepper. Burning to death, he transforms into a screaming chicken. A shadow looms over the girl and the chicken. It's my dear sister. Have you eaten your fill, sister? Why not try some of this? She pours poison into Feng Sunwan's mouth. Sensing something's wrong, Feng Sunwan spits it all back at Feng Seiming. But soon, she collapses with a thud. Quickly dispose of this fool. We can't let her reveal our secret. Don't worry, Your Highness. I used heartbreak poison. Even though she spat some out, it's enough to silence her for life. Bubbles suddenly appear in the moat outside the city. Feng Sunwan emerges from the water, clutching the rooster. When it comes to playing dead, she's second to none. But seeing the rooster vomit, she suddenly remembers she hasn't finished reading her heartbreak umbrella, likely a manual or guide. To save her life, she sneaks back to the Zheng Manor's medicine kitchen. As a doctor in her past life, handling a little poison is nothing. But as a fool, even if she said someone was trying to harm her, no one would believe her. Thinking of her elder sister, Feng Se, who poisoned her, Feng Sunwan grits her teeth. Living by the principle of an eye for an eye, Feng Sunwan decides to play along and show them what she's made of. That night, in the Zheng Manor's hall, the crown prince, Gong Yi, and the 8th prince, Prince Shun, examine Feng Sunwan's corpse. Brother, something seems amiss. Doesn't she look like she's been violated? Duke Zheng suddenly kneels. I implore your highnesses to explain this to Prince Jing and the Empress Dowager. Otherwise, I have no face to see Prince Jing. Brother, Duke Zheng has become your relative today, and he will be at your disposal in the future. The Imperial Guard has served his entire life. Prince Jing did not accidentally fall into the water. He was murdered after his death. This matter is not the fault of the country. Please rise. Feng Sunwan was fuming. What kind of parents are these? Their child is dead, and they're not looking for the killer, only thinking about protecting themselves. Good thing I was prepared. Simultaneous enlightenment. Agio, the servant, ran back and forth shouting that something big had happened. Feng Sunwan used fitness exercises to suppress his restlessness. Didn't I tell you to stay calm? Anyone would think you're mourning for me. Your Highness, the princess consort, she's gone. I heard she drowned last night, and she was also defiled after death. Now everyone outside is calling Prince Jing the cuckold war god. He gritted his teeth tightly. The Dali Kingdom's green hat war god. He clenched his jaw tightly. Beima immediately went to Duke Zheng's mansion. Duke Zheng's manor. Feng Sunwan, pretending to be dead, felt dizzy. The crown prince and the eighth prince were discussing burying her. Feng Sunwan admired Prince Jing, this ruthless man. He could remain indifferent after being cuckolded. In critical moments, one must rely on oneself. Her elder sister, Feng Serming, stood up and said that her death wasn't entirely a bad thing. At least she wouldn't have the chance to embarrass Duke Zheng's family anymore. Feng Sunwan suddenly came back to life, pinning Feng Serming beneath her. She wanted to let her know the power of the 9-yin white bone claw. However, the crown prince also flew up and kicked her. Feng Sunwan almost herniated a disc, but she saw a dagger on the table. She decisively threw the dagger like Xiao Li Fei Dao. Unfortunately, it almost resulted in a mushroom stew with a corpse. Duke Zheng was shocked and furious. He ordered his men to tie her up. So Feng Sunwan was tied up beyond recognition. Feng Sunwan was still shaken. She threw the dagger in front of Duke Zheng. She wanted Duke Zheng, this minister, to avenge her. To protect the bigger picture, Duke Zheng reluctantly approached. As the knife was about to fall, Feng Sunwan thought her life was over. The cuckold war god, Prince Jing, suddenly arrived. Who dares touch this prince's consort? Duke Zheng dropped to his knees. I didn't know your highness Prince Jing was coming. I have failed to welcome you. Please forgive me. Feng Sunwan thought, my dear ninth brother coming uninvited. What a rare guest. I'm here to pick up my princess consort. Do you have any objections, elder brother? Feng Sunwan scoffed inwardly. If it weren't for the rumors flying around, I wouldn't believe you'd come. The Duchess stepped forward and said, Your Highness, our third daughter suddenly came back to life and went mad today. Therefore, we are taking her back now. Wouldn't that be inappropriate? You don't want me to take her away? It seems the Duke Zheng's family has a problem. Thinking this, Prince Jing leaned down. Why did the princess consort suddenly go mad? Does madam truly not know? Ajio, go and get a doctor. Everyone present watched this scene unfold. Duke Jing lowered his voice. I want a female doctor. Soon, a female doctor arrived. She examined the injuries on Feng Sunwan's body. Your Highness Prince Jing, the injuries on the Crown Prince and eldest Miss Feng are not serious. They will heal in 3 days. As for the princess consort, she is still a virgin. Your Highness has not been cuckolded, but the princess consort has many bruises from being beaten. There are even signs of heartbreak poison. Feng Sunwan thought, interesting. She survived heartbreak poison. Duke Zheng, my princess consort has been poisoned and framed. Shouldn't you give me an explanation? Duke Zheng hastily replied, Your Highness, please rest assured. I will give princess consort justice within 3 days. Feng Sunwan was tearful. He finally knows how to stand up for me. However, Prince Jing barked, Ajia, what are you standing around for? Drag the princess consort back. Feng Sunwan felt utterly hopeless. I might as well have been stabbed to death earlier. As she was leaving, Feng Sunwan saw the rooster. She looked to the rooster for help. The rooster pecked her foot. Feng Sunwan instantly broke free and started fighting with the traitorous rooster. Duke Zheng had a headache to go find a reliable maid to keep an eye on her. Feng Sunwan, I'll see if you're truly foolish or just pretending. Now, Prince Jing took his wife back to the mansion. He opened the door to see his wife eating like a starving ghost. Who gave her so much food? This is all according to Yelin's usual appetite. Gong Cheng was frustrated. Could anyone's appetite be compared to a fool's? What if he stuffed himself to death? Wouldn't that also solidify his title as the master of fake politeness? Before Feng Sunwan could react, Ajio had carried away the entire dining table. You scoundrel, give me back my chicken leg. That evening, Feng Sunwan was so hungry she couldn't sleep. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound coming from the window. She immediately had a bad feeling. Even the cats were asleep at this hour. It couldn't be someone coming to kill me, could it? After much deliberation, she hid under the bed. Sure enough, a sneaky figure slipped in. In the next moment, she understood what it meant to have her life hanging by a thread. For the sake of her life, she pushed over the nearest shelf. The loud crash immediately attracted the attention of the mansion guards. Seeing that the situation was unfavorable, the assassin immediately fled. The guards, alerted by the noise, arrived. The guards reported that they hadn't found any trace of an assassin. They suggested that the princess consort had probably just broken something accidentally. Feng Sunwan suddenly stepped forward and tugged on Gong Cheng's sleeve. Her eyes were filled with a pitiful expression. Gong Cheng's heart melted. He rubbed her head. However, Feng Sunwan suddenly bit him. Am I crazy? I actually thought she was cute. While he was in pain, Feng Sunwan pulled him toward the bed. Then she pointed to the ripped opening in the bed. Gong Cheng's heart skipped a beat. There really had been an assassin. Could it be that you deliberately caused all this chaos? Seeing Feng Sunwan nod repeatedly, Gong Cheng leaned closer. Are you incredibly lucky, or are you just pretending to be stupid? Then Feng Sunwan started crying like a fool. She rolled around on the floor and even picked up broken pieces of the vase and tried to put them in her mouth. Gong Cheng grabbed her hand. Oh, you made all this commotion in the middle of the night just to cause trouble? It seems I really overestimated you. He stood up and slapped Ajio that you're not doing your job, just spacing out. Go and catch the assassin immediately. Angrily storming out of the room, he still ordered someone to bring over some food. The next day, Feng Sunwan was woken up. Ajio, following orders, had found 2 personal maids. They were specifically responsible for Feng Sunwan's daily needs. Dressed in beautiful clothes, she looked like a little fairy. The maid Qing Wu thought she was beautiful. Yin Lu, however, was dismissive, and no matter how pretty she is, she's still a fool. What future is there in serving her? Qing Wu retorted, how can you say that? The princess consort is already pitiful enough. We should take good care of her. Listening to their argument, Feng Sunwan noticed something unusual. Why was the jewelry on Yin Lu's head so exquisite? It didn't look like something an ordinary maid could afford. That pattern, could she be the assassin from last night? Was she sent by that little vixen, Feng Serming? Or was it that scumbag, the crown prince? Yin Lu smiled and brought over some tea, but she tried to force Feng Sunwan to drink it. Qing Wu stepped forward to stop her. Feng Sunwan had already knocked over the tea. The tea landed on her silver bracelet. A chemical reaction occurred immediately. Feng Sunwan quickly rotated the silver bracelet, covering the blackened mark. You stupid fool, what are you doing? Feng Sunwan, frightened, threw herself into Qing Wu's arms. The princess consort just accidentally spilled a cup. Do you have to yell at her? Yin Lu gritted her teeth and left. Both of you are fools. The door slammed shut. Feng Sunwan suddenly threw the silver bracelet on the floor. Qing Wu bent down and picked it up. She immediately noticed the blackened mark on the bracelet. She looked at the princess consort. Feng Sunwan gave a cooperative, foolish smile. In the study, Gong Cheng paused with his brush in hand. Why would I suddenly draw something like this? It must be because I'm too tired recently. Suddenly, Ajio shouted, it's turned black. It's turned black. Feeling guilty, Gong Cheng threw his brush. Who gave you the nerve to order me around? My lord, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the silver bracelet the princess consort is wearing. The silver has turned black. Someone has poisoned the fool. Today, I discovered something amiss with that maid, Yin Lu. She was the only one who entered the kitchen alone this morning. However, she's a personal maid assigned to you by the Empress Dowager years ago. I dare not act rashly. Gong Cheng frowned. Could the poisoning be related to the Empress Dowager? But she was the one who arranged this marriage. He picked up the silver bracelet. Since she's the Empress Dowager's person, have someone keep a close watch on her. Don't alert her. By the way, who gave her this bracelet? It was given by Qing Ru, the other maid attending the princess consort. Is something wrong? Gong Cheng clenched the silver bracelet. I thought it was... Forget it. It's nothing. Suddenly, a guard rushed in to report that the princess consort had gotten into a fight. Gong Cheng was annoyed. That fool really gives me no peace of mind. Walking so fast, and he still dares to say he's not concerned about the princess consort. He was helping Qing Wu get rid of her older brother. A direct hit to the man's pride, and this undoubtedly enraged the man. Just as the man's fist was about to land, Gong Cheng grabbed his wrist. He threw him off like trash. You little fool, imitating others in a fight. Are you tired of living? Feng Sunwan rubbed her aching face. This damn man, he comes to save me and still acts tough. Gong Cheng kicked the man and ordered the guards to drag him out and give him 80 lashes. Since the commotion in the manor started because of Qing Wu, Gong Cheng told her to pack her things and leave. Qing Wu hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Feng Sunwan clung to Gong Cheng's leg, pleading in broad daylight. What will people think? Let go of me at once. But facing Feng Sunwan's teary eyes, the 7-foot-tall man was defeated. Fine. Qing Wu, you will attend the princess consort from now on. I don't want this to happen again. Feng Sunwan secretly gloated. Acting cute is shameful, but works. 2 days later, Gong Cheng left the manor for Duke Zhengguo's birthday banquet. He was furious to find only one carriage. Ajio pleaded his innocence. He only wanted the prince and princess consort to cultivate their feelings. Gong Cheng, thinking Feng Sunwan was a fool, figured no harm done. But seeing how well-behaved the little fool was today, his heart inexplicably raced. Feng Sunwan, uncomfortable under his gaze, turned her head haughtily. "Little fool, listen up. When we arrive at Duke Zhengguo's manor, don't wander off and don't eat anything. Otherwise, I can't guarantee your safety." After speaking, he closed his eyes to rest. Feng Sunwan thought to herself, is he concerned about me? At Duke Zhengguo's manor, Duke Zhengguo stood at the entrance, forcing a smile, but his face was grim. The 3-day deadline has passed. I wonder if Duke Zhengguo has found the culprit who poisoned the princess consort. Duke Zhengguo, sweating profusely, ordered the culprit to be brought forward. However, the culprit was dead. Unfortunately, this culprit committed suicide as soon as he was apprehended this morning. I hadn't had time to report to your highness. Please forgive me. You've worked hard, Duke Zhengguo. It must not have been easy to find a culprit willing to commit suicide. At this moment, Marquis Xian Ling arrived to smooth things over for Duke Zhengguo. Dongcheng, have Qingwu escort the princess consort inside. The two went for a stroll in the back garden. They came across a woman holding a child and crying anxiously. Feng Sunwan immediately recognized that the child's airway was obstructed by a foreign object and needed immediate attention. But Feng Sunwan was supposed to be a fool. To save the child, she dropped her act. She asked Qingwu to distract the child's mother. Qingwu couldn't believe the princess consort could speak, but Feng Sunwan had no time to explain and pushed her out. Qingwu lured the woman away by saying her grandfather had an accident in the front hall. The distraught woman didn't think too much about it and asked Qingwu to look after Xiaobao. Feng Sunwan, taking advantage of the woman's absence, stepped forward and used the Heimlich maneuver. With a few swift moves, the child coughed up the bone lodged in his throat. Promise, big sister, you won't tell anyone about what happened just now. Feng Sunwan turned to Qingwu. I know you have many questions, but there's a reason I'm pretending to be a fool. Suddenly, a woman's furious shouts rang out. Prince Jing, you must give me an explanation today. Put this maid to death. But when the child let out a breath, she realized he was all right. Qingwu dropped to her knees and begged Gong Cheng for forgiveness. She explained that she had used a folk remedy on the child and, fearing it would frighten the woman, had deliberately led her away. And with this explanation, naturally, it is this servant girl, Nuanyuan, who offers her apologies. I wrongly accuse your highness. Please forgive me. Gong Cheng indicated that Nuanyuan was being too serious. It was his maid, Yue, who started it. His gaze drifted towards the maid and his wife, Qingwu. When did this maid become so clever? At the time of the incident, only Qingwu and the little fool were present. If it wasn't Qingwu's idea, then he only saw Feng Sunwan open her cherry-red lips and swallow the pear blossom in one bite. As expected, I was overthinking it. Duke Zhengguo's birthday banquet. The legitimate daughter, Feng Siming, volunteered to dance in front of the emperor. Her dancing was better than many professional dancers. The empress was very pleased. She said if Feng Siming became a royal daughter-in-law, the palace would certainly be lively. The emperor saw through her intentions. He wanted to form a marriage alliance with the Zhengguogong mansion to strengthen the crown prince's power. He commented that although Miss Feng's dancing was good, it lacked a certain something. He rewarded her with 100 taels of silver. Feng Siming thanked him, but just watching professional entertainers perform is probably not enough to entertain everyone. He turned to look at Feng Sunwan. Why not have the princess consort of Jing also perform? Feng Siming had just swallowed the dessert in her mouth when a black hand suddenly appeared from behind, pushing her into the spotlight. Many officials and nobles laughed at her foolish appearance. But if they wanted to see Feng Sunwan make a fool of herself, they should look in the mirror more often. Feng Sunwan had previously picked many pear blossoms in the courtyard with Qingwu, and her performance was a celestial dance, scattering flowers. Her figure swayed gently, captivatingly beautiful. Gong Cheng was momentarily stunned. She's so beautiful today. No, wait, why would I be interested in this fool? Pear blossoms fluttered down. Feng Sunwan's swaying figure stilled. The emperor clapped his hands in applause. Unexpectedly, the princess consort of Jing could conjure flowers out of thin air. Truly interesting. Reward her with 1,000 taels of gold and fine silks and satins. Gong Cheng thanked the emperor for his reward on behalf of his wife. Feng Siming was fuming. You stupid fool, you're just lucky. The real show is yet to come. Feng Sunwan leaned back in her seat. She noticed the persimmons and crabs, two foods known to clash. But in reality, eating crabs and persimmons together doesn't actually cause poisoning. Persimmons contain a large amount of tannic acid and pectin. Consuming too much might cause gastric bezoars. others. So, don't eat too much at once. Feng Sunwan ate a mouthful of persimmon, then a mouthful of crab. Seeing this, Gong Chung said, "Are you reincarnated from a starving ghost? Can you have some table manners?" He suddenly turned his head, his face flushed. Why am I saying these things to this fool? However, Feng Sunwan, who couldn't stop eating, suddenly felt a stomach ache. Success. Are you trying to eat yourself to death? Feng Sunwan pushed him away and turned to bury her face in Qing Wu's arms. She even made a triumphant face, thoroughly infuriating Gong Chung. Qing Wu took Feng Sunwan to rest. Seeing this, Feng Simeng stood up. "My younger sister suddenly feels unwell. We will take our leave. Time for the aphrodisiac." He wanted to ruin his sister's reputation. However, his sister was hiding by the window, eavesdropping. So, as soon as he opened the door, he ran into his foolish sister. "Heaven is helping me. Feng Sunwan, you're doomed today." He dragged Feng Sunwan into the room to rest. The door was suddenly closed. He pounded on the door, wanting to get out. A hand landed on his shoulder. The enraged Feng Simeng was about to explode, but when he turned around, he was scared witless. He fainted dead away. Feng Sunwan removed the cute mask. "Princess consort, I've learned so many palace intrigue tactics from TV dramas." Just then, a man's voice came from outside the door. Feng Sunwan could only help this destined couple. Duke Zheng's birthday banquet. Qing Wu tearfully announced that the princess consort was lost. Gong Cheng's heart instantly plunged into chaos. He ordered people to search for her. Feng Simeng's maid, Xiao Cui, however, anxiously claimed to have seen the princess consort. A frantic Gong Chung kicked open the door. He thought the fool was inside, but unexpectedly, it was the crown prince's quarters. The emperor was furious. The crown prince shifted the blame, claiming Feng Simeng had framed him. Gong Chung smelled a peculiar fragrance in the room. Agio quickly identified the source of the fragrance in the room. Thanks to Agio's nose, which was as keen as the mythical heavenly hounds. "Your Majesty," he reported, "this scent is the aphrodisiac commonly used in brothels." The crown prince gritted his teeth upon hearing this. "You wretch. It really was you who set me up," Feng Simeng cried, clutching her stinging cheek. Suddenly, his intelligence seemed to return to it was the princess consort. This was all orchestrated by the princess consort. Absurd. The princess consort is mentally deficient. How could she have planned all of this? You refuse to admit your mistake and even attempt to frame others. Your crime is even more severe. The Duke of Zhengwen knelt, pleading for his eldest daughter. The empress also pleaded for Feng Simeng, saying there must be some misunderstanding. But the emperor only believed what he saw. In truth, he wanted to use this incident to reprimand the empress and the crown prince, severing any thoughts they might have of colluding with the Duke of Zhengjiu. In consideration of Duke Zheng's birthday today, I will let this go. But if you dare to commit such an offense again, I will not be lenient. Feng Simeng clenched her jaw. "Feng Sunwan, just you wait. I will not let you off." At that moment, Feng Sunwan was sitting in a tree, eating an apple. Gong Chung and others found her. Agio was about to go find a ladder, but Gong Chung pushed him aside. "I can't even handle this small task. Get out of my way." He opened his arms, jumped down. Playing the fool, Feng Sunwan jumped. She expected a loving embrace, a picture-perfect moment. Instead, her face met the ground before her feet did. Tears welled up in Feng Sunwan's eyes from the pain, while Gong Chung gloated. "Huh, you little fool, you're such a handful." Feng Sunwan dusted off his dirty hands and opened her small, cherry-red mouth in a fierce pout. Hong Chun watched his retreating figure, speechless. "Is he throwing a tantrum at me?" "That's right, Dad. You finally get it." Feng Sunwan and Qing Wu were preparing to return to the manor when a servant girl suddenly called out to them. "Excuse me." This servant heard that Miss Qing Wu can cure choking. "Please save my mistress." Qing Wu was stunned. She was a mountain bandit. After all, Feng Sunwan gave her a trust me look. They arrived at the mistress's house. The servant said the mistress only requested Miss Qing Wu's presence. A chest of silver, worth 100,000 taels of gold, was offered. A woman used it to bribe the servant girl attending to her younger sister. However, the servant girl immediately gave it to her master. Just now, a servant girl begged Qing Wu to save her mistress. However, before entering the sick room, the servant said the mistress only wanted to see Qing Wu alone. Qing Wu immediately panicked. She was merely the princess consort's shield. Feng Sunwan keenly sensed a trap, but this was a matter of life and death. Feng Sunwan used her feigned foolishness to her advantage, whispering in Qing Wu's ear. When Qing Wu pushed open the door to the sick room, she was met with the sight of the Duchess and Feng Simeng. The so-called illness was just a ruse. Qing Wu quickly knelt, "Greetings, Madam, Miss Feng." They wanted to know if Qing Wu had cured Feng Sunwan's stammer. Qing Wu hurriedly explained that her limited skills were insufficient to cure the princess consort. Feng Siming didn't believe her. If you didn't cure her stammer, how could she have the ability to turn around and frame me? Qing Wu could only repeatedly kowtow to prove her innocence. The Duchess whispered, "This girl doesn't seem to be lying. Perhaps tonight's incident was just a coincidence." The servant brought something forward. The servant presented a chest of silver. The Duchess instructed him to keep a close watch on the princess consort. If anything seemed amiss, he was to report immediately. Qing Wu nodded repeatedly. Thus, this chest of silver became their startup capital. Qing Wu, being honest, said, "Princess consort, shouldn't we return this money?" "Silly, why return it? You just have to visit them regularly and tell a few lies. Won't that do?" By the way, Qing Wu, how much money do you think we need to save to live a good life after leaving the manor? "Princess consort, you want to leave the manor?" Feng Sunwan nearly jumped out of her skin. "Quiet down, Qing Wu. Don't you want to get rid of your servant status and live a free life?" Qing Wu did want that, but nothing. "Tomorrow we'll go to the brothel to earn money." Late at night, Agio paid a visit, saying the prince requested Qing Wu's presence. Qing Wu noticed the playful look on his face, because the more Gong Cheng thought about it, the more pitiful he felt. He wanted to personally test Qing Wu's medical skills. Agio simply said, "My lord, you're sick." As a result, the prince berated him thoroughly. "He might even have an incurable disease now. You should go and treat him quickly." Qing Wu declined. Agio pulled her forward. Just then, Qing Wu's other hand was also grabbed. With the combined efforts of Agio and the princess consort, she was about to be torn apart. Finally, Qing Wu broke free from Agio. The princess consort can't be left unattended right now. Besides, if I am made, go see the prince in the middle of the night. It will cause gossip. "Can I go tomorrow morning?" "That makes sense." But Feng Sunwan gave him a swift kick, sending him rolling. Under the combined assault of the leads, Agio's metaphorical grave grass grew 3 feet high. "Princess consort, what should we do now?" The prince suddenly asked me to treat him. He must have discovered that I lied to him before. He might kick me out of the manor tomorrow. Don't panic yet. He has his plans, and I have mine. We'll see. The next day, Qing Wu arrived wearing a veil. Gongqing asked her why she was wearing a veil. She explained that many red spots had suddenly appeared on her face, and she was afraid of scaring the prince, so she wore the veil. "Gongcheng, I've been fighting wars for years. What haven't I seen? If you can scare me, I'd say that's a talent." Qing Wu promptly knelt down. "Please, your highness, don't make things difficult for this servant." Gongcheng suddenly changed his tune. "Forget it. Come and take my pulse." Qing Wu stepped forward and took his pulse. Gongcheng keenly noticed the jade bracelet on her wrist. He grabbed Qing Wu's hand. "You still want to fool me? Think playing dumb is fun, huh?" He abruptly lifted the veil. A man lifting a woman's veil. He thought it was his wife playing tricks, but unexpectedly, it really was the maid, Qing Wu. Meanwhile, the supposedly foolish princess consort, sharper than a monkey, was secretly hiding behind the door, enjoying the show. Thwarted, he said, "Qing Wu, how dare you? You stole the princess consort's bracelet." Qing Wu hurriedly explained that the princess consort had put it on her wrist while they were playing. Agio, observing from the side, said, "My lord, weren't you going to test Qing Wu's medical skills? Why are you suddenly fixated on the bracelet? You're telling me how to do things?" Gongcheng dropped the bracelet issue for the time being. "Tell me, what ailments do I have?" "For your highness's health." She thought anxiously, "Why isn't the princess consort here yet?" Speak of the devil. As soon as Feng Sunwan entered, with her beautiful, cherry lips, Gongcheng cried out in terror, "Ghost." He ran. She chased. He couldn't escape. Gongcheng ran all the way to the back garden before stopping. "That fool didn't follow, did she?" "Reporting to your highness, no trace of the princess consort has been found." Suddenly, he realized, since she didn't chase after me, it means we fell for a diversionary tactic. Gongcheng quickly returned to his residence, but didn't find Feng Sunwan. Qing Wu explained, "After the princess consort chased after you, this servant hasn't seen her." With that, she presented a prescription. "Your highness, your body is fine, just a little excess liver fire. So, I've taken the liberty of prescribing a calming remedy." Gongcheng took the prescription and asked Qing Wu, "Since you have medical skills, why not treat the princess consort's stammering and foolishness? If you can cure her, I will reward you handsomely." Qing Wu quickly assured him that she would do her best to treat the princess consort. But the ever-suspicious Gong Cheng wasn't fooled. "Feng Sunwan, I will expose your true face sooner or later." The scene shifted to the manor wall. Feng Sunwan used the same jumping method, but still chose to land head first. Just like that, Feng Sunwan, with her medical kit, headed towards Fai's pavilion. Meanwhile, Gong Cheng received military intelligence. Qing Wu had taken the princess consort to Phi's pavilion. But what kind of place is Phi's pavilion? Phi's pavilion is the most famous brothel in the capital, Your Highness. Gong Cheng's face instantly flushed. He thought of Feng Sun-Wan's delicate appearance. Suddenly, he slammed the table. If anyone dares to look at her body, I'll gouge their eyes out. And that fool, she wouldn't even know if she was being sold. I'm going to personally bring her back. At Phi's pavilion, Feng Sun-Wan was dazzled by the sights and sounds, unsure where to start. And amidst the crowd, Ji Gu Yi Qing Hui. Suddenly, a drunkard bumped into Feng Sun-Wan. Are you blind? But when he got a clear look at Feng Sun-Wan's tear-streaked face, his inner maiden, all 250 pounds of her, swooned. Could you be the new courtesan? Qing Wu quickly shielded the princess consort. Don't you dare touch my mistress. What respectable girl would come to a place like this? And miss, you look quite appealing too. Why don't both of you serve me together? Feng Sun-Wan responded by giving him a swift elbow to the gut. While the man appeared burly and imposing, he was actually a softy. The man's waist gave way, his legs weak. Clearly a delicate fellow. Just then, a graceful figure approached. Sir, please refrain from causing trouble in Phi's pavilion. It was a woman's first time visiting a brothel for medical treatment, but she was falsely accused of wrongdoing by this young gentleman. Asked him to stop causing trouble in Phi's pavilion. The man immediately turned the tables and accused Feng Sun-Wan of causing the disturbance. The madam's eyes missed nothing that I'm talking to you. The man was then dragged out by a burly guard. She then turned back to Feng Sun-Wan with a sweet smile. Who could resist such a charismatic older sister? Thank you, sister, for your help. What's your name? At that moment, Gong Chung, who had just arrived, happened to see his wife flirting with the madam. His jealousy instantly ignited. Why is he here? Gong Chung stepped forward to take her away. Kun Fong suddenly stepped in front of Feng Sun-Wan. Prince Jean, with your noble bearing, surely you wouldn't make things difficult for a young girl, would you? You know me. Your Highness's reputation precedes you. I've long admired you. Feng Sun-Wan instantly became a detached onlooker. I have no interest in you. With that, Gong Chung put his arm around his wife and left. Kun Fong suddenly flashed a captivating smile. Gong Chung, regardless of how you feel about me, I'm very interested in you. The scene shifted to the prince, Jin's manor. Feng Sun-Wan was pushed onto the bed by Gong Chung. What's gotten into this man? Gong Chung proceeded to take off his outer robe. Feng Sun-Wan watched, dumbfounded, as his magnificent 8-pack abs were revealed. Gong Chung pounced on her like a hungry wolf. Why did you go to the brothel? Feng Sun-Wan was both embarrassed and afraid. Couldn't he at least put his clothes on before talking? I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself. Gong Chung gripped her chin. Are you that eager to cuckold me? He suddenly ripped open Feng Sun-Wan's dress. Feng Sun-Wan blushed. This isn't how it's supposed to go. If you want to do that to me, you should at least confess your feelings first. I'm going to personally verify whether or not you've been unfaithful. Seeing that her last line of defense was about to fall, she couldn't keep up the act any longer. And oh, you haven't confessed yet. We can't do that. Now, it was Gong Cheng's turn to be stunned. When did you learn to speak? Feng Sun-Wan instantly regretted blurting out her thoughts. Now how am I supposed to explain this? She pushed his hateful face away. Qing Wu. I want Qing Wu. Agio poked his head in. Master, should I summon Qing Wu? Gong Chung quickly hid Feng Sun-Wan under the covers. Hurry up and go. Feng Sun-Wan smiled sweetly. The scene changed to Qing Wu kneeling. She stammered, confessing that the princess consort could speak because Feng Sun-Wan immediately mouthed the explanation to her. Gong Chung, sharp as he was, sensed something was amiss behind him, but couldn't find any concrete evidence. Because I cured the princess consort. She was previously poisoned and rendered mute. Now that the residual poison is gone, she can naturally speak again. Then why, after regaining your voice, did you not reply, but instead go to a brothel? Qing Wu was speechless, but Feng Sun-Wan, the fool, came to the rescue. That I want to go out and play. I want to go out and play. Take me out to play. Faced with his wife's coquettish plea, Gong Chung was much calmer this time. After causing such a commotion, you still want to go out and play? Stay put in the manor. Feng Sun-Wan rubbed her head with a pout. But then, still sulking, she took Qing Wu's hand and left. However, upon reaching the door, she paused. Feng Sun-Wan made a face. I hate your arrogant princely airs, she hummed. The whimsical Gong Chung suspected he was being cuckolded. He wanted to personally verify his wife's chastity. However, his foolish wife suddenly could speak. You haven't even confessed your love yet. No way, she said, softened by her closeness. He let her off the hook for now. But the next day, when Feng Sun-Wan woke up, she learned that Qing Wu had been summoned to the palace by Feng Sei-ming. He immediately asked Gong Chung for Qing Wu. Gong Chung pretended not to hear. He kept clamoring for Qing Wu. Qing Wu this, Qing Wu that all day long. Do you even have any respect for me, your prince? Feng Sunwan whined. Take me to see Qing Wu. No. Feng Sunwan suddenly pressed her lips against Gong Cheng's face. Gong Cheng's resolve instantly crumbled. There's just no way to deal with you. In the imperial palace, the emperor looked down from his throne. Speak. Your majesty, on father's birthday, my sister gave me a sachet. I found it pretty and wore it. I didn't expect it to be filled with aphrodisiac incense. The emperor pointed at Qing Wu that he can testify for me. Please, your majesty, investigate this matter thoroughly. Qing Wu, whose loyalties lay elsewhere, unhesitatingly denied it. This enraged Feng Ming. Your majesty, the sachet was indeed taken from my sister's room by me. Thinking our sisterly bond was strong, I believe my sister wouldn't mind. But who knew it contained aphrodisiac incense? By this point, she was in tears that I heard this servant is skilled in medicine. If the sachet with the aphrodisiac incense wasn't meant for me by my sister, perhaps he made it for her, but I took it. Perhaps I shielded my sister from disaster. The emperor stroked his beard. This was a good opportunity to cover up this scandal. Audacious. You dare frame the duke's family and the crown prince. Someone drag him out and execute him. Qing Wu's face paled, tears streaming down. Just then, Feng Sunwan arrived in a flurry. Qing Wu threw himself into her arms. Your Highness, you finally came. Gong Chung followed close behind. Father, this servant Qing Wu saved the life of the divine monkey's son and has now cured the princess consort's ailment. I implore you to show mercy and give him a chance to explain. Feng Ming seethed with anger. Her ailment had actually been cured. The emperor said he would give Qing Wu a chance for Gong Cheng's sake, but if he couldn't clear his name, he would be executed. Your majesty, the princess consort can testify for me. Even though his ailment had been cured, the fool could now speak. Father, a fool may be foolish, but at least they won't lie, right? Feng Sunwan suspected he was implying she was the fool and smirked. She was secretly pleased with herself for helping him so much. Now you know I'm better than Qing Wu, right? No, wait. Why was she comparing herself to a servant? Qing Wu gestured for Feng Ming to produce the sachet. Feng Ming didn't have it. She explained that she had thrown it away. Feng Sunwan had anticipated this. A slight smile played on her lips. It was time to show them some real acting. She suddenly lunged at Feng Ming. Sachet. I like sachet. Big sister has lots of sachets in her room. Give me one. Gong Chung picked her up. You silly girl, why do you want everything you see? Feng Sunwan inwardly cursed him. Stupid man. I said that on purpose for the emperor to hear. We have no chemistry at all. Qing Wu seized the opportunity. Your majesty, you heard it yourself. The eldest Mrs. Room does indeed have many sachets. This truly has nothing to do with me. Feng Ming frantically explained. That's not true. She and the princess consort are colluding to lie. There are no sachets in my room, your majesty. Unwilling to listen to any more excuses, the emperor declared, Feng Ming, you're young, yet so scheming. For Duke Zheng's sake, I will spare your life. You are sentenced to confinement in your room for 3 years. You are not to cause any more trouble. Feng Ming glared at her pampered sister. She had only one thought, die Feng Sunwan, die. Leaving the Golden Palace, Gong Chung told Qing Wu to return to the manor. He put his arm around Feng Sunwan's waist. My beloved consort, come with me to see the Empress Dowager. The man was actually jealous of his own wife. Gong Chung brought his consort to see the Empress Dowager. However, the Empress Dowager only had eyes for her granddaughter-in-law. Grandmother, you should look at me too. The Empress Dowager perfunctorily pinched his cheek. Oh, you've grown more handsome. What's the use of being handsome? You still paired me with a fool. Feng Sunwan suddenly bit his hand because he called her a fool in front of his elder. The Empress Dowager chuckled. Serves you right. You shouldn't be so mean. After venting, Feng Sunwan released her bite. Gong Chung felt wronged. Grandmother, it's clearly your grandson who's been wrong. Why are you taking his side? The Empress Dowager placed their hands together. Grandmother, had someone read your fortunes? Sunwan, this girl is your lucky star. Don't bully her anymore. You two must support each other, understand? The two couldn't help but meet each other's gaze. Just as they were about to embrace and get all lovey-dovey, they quickly pulled apart. The Empress Dowager instructed Nanny's son, go and call all the princesses in the palace. I'm holding a banquet tonight to liven things up. At this moment, Gong Chung asked his grandmother, do you still remember a maid named Yin Lu? The Empress Dowager looked at him questioningly. What about her? Is there something wrong? Gong Chung quickly denied it was just a casual question. The Empress Dowager suddenly withdrew her hand. Don't tell me you've taken a liking to her. Stay away from that scoundrel. Aren't you satisfied with such a beautiful wife? How can you be flirting around? Feng Sunwan joined in the teasing. Old news. Old news. He doesn't keep his promises. Gong Chung was exasperated and, oh, that's not what I meant at all. Feng Sunwan thought to herself, I didn't expect the Empress Dowager to be so kind. What an interesting old woman. However, the Empress Dowager said cheerfully, my granddaughter-in-law only appears foolish, but she's actually quite clever, isn't she? Feng Sunwan immediately didn't want to speak. At the banquet, Feng Sunwan had just picked up a bun when she heard a princess coughing incessantly. Princess Xian Ping disdainfully covered her nose. Seventh sister actually has the nerve to attend the banquet. It's such a mood killer. It was Grandmother Empress who invited me. Feng Sunwan patted her shoulder. Here, have a drumstick. No, thank you. I've been frail since childhood. You should eat it, sister-in-law. Xian Ping sneered. A fool and a crybaby, truly a perfect match. Gong Chung walked up behind her. Junior sister, mind your words. Xian Ping fearfully ate. That's enough, the Empress Dowager spoke. Actually, the reason I've gathered all the princesses here today is to announce an important matter. Your ninth imperial brother fought bloody battles for many years to finally quell the unrest at the border. Now, Goryeo in the north has submitted and requested a marriage alliance with our Dolly. Are any of you willing to marry into Goryeo? The princesses were all startled. Xian Ping, being outspoken, said, Grandmother Empress, I heard that the Goryeo Emperor is quite old. Wouldn't marrying him now be like becoming a living widow? Moreover, Goryeo is a cold and distant place. We'll want to go there. Seeing that no princess was willing, the Empress Dowager spoke again. Since none of you are willing to go, we'll hold a talent competition. Whoever loses will go to the border for the marriage alliance. Xian Ping nudged the seventh princess. Looks like this spot is reserved for seventh sister. Seeing her sickly appearance, Feng Sunwan couldn't help but feel a desire to help her. In the carriage, Feng Sunwan was lost in thought. Judging by seventh princess's symptoms, it looks a lot like chronic rhinitis. If she wants to be cured, Gong Chung flicked her forehead. Stop overthinking things. You dare bully me, I'll tell grandmother. Oh really? Since when did you learn to use grandmother as a threat? Just as the two were flirting, a whistling arrow suddenly pierced the night sky. A man is about to be shot. Feng Sunwan's eyes lit up. Could this be the legendary assassination? The masked man gave an order, and they all charged towards the princess consort. This was their target. Gong Chung told Qing Wei to take the princess consort away first. Feng Sunwan didn't notice the ground beneath her feet and tripped over a rock. When she looked up again, she watched helplessly as Qing Wei was stabbed through the heart. The masked man raised his broadsword high, and just as he was about to strike Feng Sunwan, in the nick of time, a sharp sword swiftly shot the masked man dead. Feng Sunwan looked towards the direction the sword came from. It was a young man wearing a mask. The next moment, he vanished without a trace. A violent shake woke Feng Sunwan from her daze. Are you really not afraid of dying? Just then, Gong Chung grabbed her hand. Don't speak. It's not safe here. Let's go. Feng Sunwan looked back towards the place where the man had disappeared. The figure of someone drawing a bow and arrow came into view. Feng Sunwan only had time to shout, "Be careful," before a sharp sword flew towards them with lightning speed. It was a close call. The god of war of Dali almost met his end there. Gong Chung snapped the arrowhead off with one hand. The masked man simply glanced at him before disappearing without a trace. Just as Gong Chung ordered someone to clean up the mess, Agio arrived late. Your Highness, are you all right? Why are you only here now? I haven't responded for so long, and you didn't even think to bring someone to check on me. I thought your Highness was cultivating feelings with the princess consort, not attending to official business. All day long, you only think about these messy things. Suddenly, he coughed up black blood. That sword was poisoned. He opened his eyes with difficulty. Yes, oh, you do worry about me. In his vision, Feng Sunwan was heartbroken and crying her eyes out. However, the reality was that Feng Sunwan calmly checked his pulse. Terrible. He's been poisoned. We must detoxify him immediately. She stood up. Quickly go, and called Qing Wu. Alert the palace physician. Gong Qing fell into a coma. Qing Wu checked his pulse. Your Highness has been poisoned. I need to try acupuncture on him. You go out first. Agio bowed. All right, I'll be waiting outside. If you need anything, call me. After saying that, he pulled the princess consort, intending to leave together. Feng Sunwan flung his hand away. On a sudden impulse, she shouted, "If I leave, who will give him?" Just as the words were about to slip out, she abruptly woke up. She looked towards the unconscious Gong Chung. Oh, I really have to expose the fact that I know medicine to save him. Calm down, calm down. There must be a way to save him without revealing myself. Agio didn't understand what she wanted to do. Princess consort, what are you trying to say? Look, there's a gray chicken. Gray chicken. Where? Where? Her mind suddenly flashed with inspiration and the princess consort's mind isn't like a normal person's. Her words can't be taken literally. There must be another meaning. A chicken's beak is shaped like a knife. Gray chicken refers to a chicken in the shadows, like a masked swordsman, masked. Could Gray chicken be an assassin? She suddenly realized that I understand. The princess consort must be trying to say she saw the assassin. Feng Sun-wan gestured towards the door. The princess consort suddenly ran that way. Hearing this, Agio hurriedly chased after her to catch the assassin. However, Feng Sun-wan quietly gave a thumbs up behind the door. Qingwei, good job, good job. Feng Sun-wan used her treating a dead horse as if it were alive medical skills. With great effort, she finally pulled Gong Chung back from the gates of hell. The poison has been neutralized. You can feed him the medicine now. I'll go back and rest. She was about to leave when Gong Chung suddenly grabbed her wrist. Don't go. Don't go. Mother. Feng Sun-wan's lips twitched. That scared me. I thought he was awake. Turns out he's just talking in his sleep. She looked at Qing Wu. Give me the medicine. I'll feed him. She used all her strength to help Gong Chung sit up. Your Highness, it's time to take your medicine. After an unknown amount of time, Gong Chung slowly woke up. The first person he saw was... Is that you? It's me. It's me. Your Highness, you're finally awake. Gong Chung was instantly startled. Your thunderous power shattered the darkness. He sat on the edge of the bed. Who treated me last night? I gave my husband the antidote, only because my husband was hit by a deadly poisoned arrow. Using poison to fight poison was the only way. Gong Chung asked who treated him last night. Agio shakily crawled up from the floor. Of course, it was the beautiful, kind-hearted, and highly skilled physician, Miss Qing Wu. Gong Chung thanked her. After Qing Wu left with the medicine bowl, Agio quickly waved. Miss Qing Wu, goodbye. Come again next time. Gong Chung couldn't stand it and coughed. Did you personally see Qing Wu treating me last night? Last night, the princess consort said she saw the assassin. I followed the direction she pointed and went out to search for a while. But I assure you, after I came back, I only saw Qing Wu, just as I suspected. Could you be suspecting Qing Wu? Could she be in cahoots with last night's assassin? Gong Chung backhanded him with a powerful punch. It seems I really have knocked your brains out. If she was involved with the assassin, why would she bother saving me? Agio rubbed his aching head. Then who was the assassin last night? In my opinion, there were two groups of assassins last night. The masked one came specifically to kill me. As for the group of Un, they were after the little fool. And the only person who could hate a fool so much is him. Agio, on Gong Cheng's orders, delivered something to Feng Semeng. Feng Semeng was overjoyed. But Agio said, the prince instructed me to watch you open this box personally. Only then will he be at ease. Since it's the prince's wish, I shall naturally comply. The next moment, his pupils rapidly constricted. The box in his hand slipped and fell. He was instantly terrified by the 3,000 strands of black hair inside. Miss Feng, Agio said, the prince also said, what is done in secret will eventually come to light. In the Jean Prince's mansion, Feng Suman sneezed. Which scoundrel is constantly cursing me behind my back? She placed the finished letter into an envelope. First, help me deliver this letter to the royal courier station. Instruct them to ensure it reaches the 7th princess. Qing Wu was puzzled. Why are you sending a letter to the 7th princess? Because she's our first client. On Qing Wu's way to deliver the letter, a hand suddenly grabbed her foot. A severely injured man crawled out from the bushes. Help me. Qing Wu, not knowing any medicine, helped him lean against a tree. Rest here for now. She said that I'll go to the courier station up ahead and get a doctor. Not long after Qing Wu left, a group of people arrived searching. By the time Qing Wu returned with the doctor, the injured man had vanished. Falsely reporting an injury incurs double the consultation fee, miss. Qing Wu reluctantly took out her personal savings. Having lost her snack money, Qing Wu returned. Elsewhere, Hong Chun arrived at the Jean Prince's study to report, Your Highness, I've discovered that Prince Li's men seem to be in contact with the Dafeng Kingdom. I intended to intercept their correspondence, but Prince Li's men discovered me. They chased me relentlessly. I barely managed to escape back to the capital. Gong Chung frowned. My imperial uncle? Happy to be involved with the Dafeng Kingdom. Could my previous poisoning by the Dafeng Kingdom also be related to him? Call Qing Wu to treat Hong Chen's injuries. Didn't Qing Wu go out a short while ago? Gong Chung pondered. Why isn't that little fool clamoring for Qing Wu this time? Are you looking forward to my wife looking for Qing Wu? Gong Chung, instantly embarrassed and angry, snapped, shut up. Am I questioning you, or are you questioning me? In any case, that girl Qing Wu is very suspicious. Hong Chun, after your injuries heal, keep a close eye on her for me. But what about Prince Li? Gong Chung mused. You've already been exposed, Hong Chun. Prince Li's side is definitely alerted. Going back there would be too risky. 3 days later, Qing Wu was cornered in a room. Who are you? My princess. A woman was trapped against the wall. Before her stood a flower thief. However, when the flower thief tore off the fake beard, they transformed into the playful and adorable princess consort, Feng Sumin. Qingwu immediately displayed an expression of adoration. Princess, why are you dressed like this? Have you forgotten that today is the day we agreed to meet with the seventh princess? Shouldn't we disguise ourselves so she won't recognize us? Qingwu worriedly replied, but the mansion's security has been tightened recently. Even I have to report to Agio if I want to go out alone. The spot where we climbed over the wall last time is now guarded. We can't get out. Feng Sumin cracked a smile. Don't worry, I have a brilliant plan. The scene shifted to a dog hole. Princess, your brilliant plan is to crawl through a dog hole. Congratulations, you guessed right. As long as it works, any method is fine. However, halfway through the dog hole, Feng Sumin was suddenly targeted by an arrow. Hong Chin's expression turned serious. This person looks familiar. It's the girl who offered to find me a doctor 3 days ago. At the Yu Lai tea house, the seventh princess, veiled, arrived for the meeting. Are you the divine physician who sent me the letter? Indeed, seventh princess, please rest assured. I merely happened to learn of your chronic ailment and wish to offer my assistance. The seventh princess asked if it could be cured within a month. Feng Sumin explained that a month wouldn't be enough for a complete cure, but she could manage the symptoms and reduce the frequency of her runny nose and watery eyes. The seventh princess tossed a bag of silver. If your method proves effective, I will reward you handsomely next time. Just as she was about to leave, a figure caught her eye. Feng Sumin followed her gaze. The figure was Gong Chung. Gong Chung seemed to sense something and looked up. His handsome, elegant, and dignified demeanor made Feng Sumin's heart flutter like a deer. This person's eyes looked so familiar. I feel like I've seen them somewhere before. Your Highness, are you still going to Fizej? His face suddenly flushed red. Of course I'm going. As they left, Feng Sumin breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, I wasn't recognized. Qingwu was puzzled. Why does His Highness want to go to Fizej? What else could it be for? It must be because he's smitten with someone. Lei was so angry he felt possessed by a crow. I actually thought that guy was interested in me too. Turns out he's just a lustful scoundrel. The seventh princess was surprised. You know my ninth brother? Feng Sumin's forehead instantly broke out in a cold sweat. Who in Dali doesn't know Prince Jing? Ha 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 ha. Feeling guilty, he pulled Qingwu away quickly. Take care, seventh princess. Is 886,886 some kind of special code? At Fizej, Gong Chung, spending money like water, asked to see the courtesan Kun Fong. The madam explained, Kun Fong has already been booked by Prince Li, but we have others from 18 to 80. Feng Sumin shuddered at the thought. Suddenly, a large hand shoved him, sending him tumbling to the ground. Prince Li coldly scoffed, good dog, out of the way. Feng Sumin fumed, wanting to shove him into a latrine. The prince walked forward. Nephew, long time no see. I heard you recently got married. What's the matter? That fool from the Zhengwood Duke's mansion, not to your liking? Gong Chung closed his fan. It's none of your concern, uncle. Oh, I understand. A mere fool. How could she possibly be worthy of my magnificent self? Tell me, what kind of girl are you looking for? I'll give you some recommendations. All right, since you're so kind, then uncle, would you be willing to part with Kun Fong and let me have her? The prince was startled. He's here for Kun Fong? Has he discovered something about the southern cities? At that moment, Kun Fong emerged from Fizej. Prince Jing, I'm willing to spend the night with you. Eavesdropping, Feng Sumin felt as if struck by lightning. Seeing his expression, Qingwu hesitantly said, Princess consort, maybe we should go back. No way. Miss Kun Fong helped us last time. This time it's our turn to repay the favor. I absolutely can't let her be bullied by that two-timing jerk, Gong Chung. But he doesn't look like he needs any help. Princess consort, you're actually just upset that His Highness is here in Fizej, aren't you? Feng Sumin denied it vehemently. How could I possibly care whether he comes to Fizej or not? As soon as I save enough money, I'll write him a divorce letter and become the woman he can never have. With that, he grabbed Qingwu's hand. Let's go cause some trouble. Feng Sumin led Qingwu to a room. Listening to the sounds inside, he trembled with rage. Impulsivity was slowly consuming his reason. Finally, he couldn't hold back any longer and kicked the door open. You bastard. However, the next moment, Feng Sumin was stunned. The so-called Prince Jing and Kun Fong were playing go.